Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Put on Raiders podcast. Little guest spot here. You can catch him on Bleacher Report and Tape Don't Lie. So that's always good stuff. All right, so let's go. I did want to do some positive stuff. So let's do some positive stuff real quick. You had a couple breakdowns. I know you don't have them right in front of you. The one you did where it was Max Crosby comes clean on a TE stunt for a sack. Can you? I know it's not in front of you, but can you visualize that a little bit and kind of talk about what happened here and why this was successful?
Yeah, that was late. I think it was mid fourth quarter when the Raiders had the Chargers backed up.
Yep.
You kind of saw Adam Butler was lined up as the defensive tackle, and you see him working through the B gap on the outside shoulder of the guard. So he's pushing, trying to penetrate that gap, but he's also trying to get in the way of the tackle. And it actually helped out that the Chargers tried to chip with the tight end on Max Crosby. So Max, sees that pretty quickly, and then immediately as Butler's working upfield, it kind of shields the tackle, and you see him coming free through the B gap, and Justin Herbert, when you see Max Crosby barreling down full speed at you with that wingspan, and he kind of went down, you saw Max kind of wrap him up and then kind of just lay him down. Like he didn't hit him and drive him into the ground, but, Herbert knew at that point his time had come on that play, just hold on to the ball. Max Crosby, this was his best game of the year, and it wasn't close. He was all over the place on film.
Yeah, the dude is. It kind of reminded me of that sack he had in the playoff game against Burrow. You could see that they look up and they're like, okay, I'm just going to protect the ball and get down. I have no chance of getting away because his wingspan is so large.
I would add, I have no idea how Herbert survived the first hit on the sack that didn't count because of the offside by David Long.
Yeah.
Max comes free, a swipe rip move. He comes around the corner and it's full speed. Just slams right into Herbert, knocks the ball out, knocks Herbert into the left tackle. Rashawn Slater gets rolled up on. Max Crosby doesn't slow up usually when he gets close to the quarterback. And I couldn't imagine a guy that size running full speed and just hitting me when I'm not expecting it.
No, he is. I mean, listen, we all Raider fans we have a lot of disagreements, but one agreement we all do like Max Crosby. So as far as that goes, you have the Trayvon Moehrig interception on the overthrow.
Yeah, this is the one that I was talking about a little bit with Matt Holder. It looks to me like they're in cover one double, so they're bringing a blitz. It's a 5-man pressure. You see Spillane blitzing, so they're playing man across the board, and they show too high at the snap. And the timing gets thrown off as Keenan Allen comes in short motion. You see him kind of working back towards the line of scrimmage, and he kind of gets shielded by the tight end Everett, who's working, I believe it's against Roderick Teamer on the play because they were in dime personnel. And you see Epps screaming to try to get there. Marcus Peters kind of passes him off like he's expecting Epps to be there, but he couldn't get around Everett. Luckily, there was pressure coming. Herbert starts rolling out. Moehrig starts on the far hash and kind of works back to the middle of the field. Big credit here to Adam Butler. Adam Butler kind of doesn't get a great rush initially, but he gets his eyes on Herbert, sees him rolling out, and kind of runs out and cuts him off. Mm-hmm. And Herbert sails it, and then it goes right to Moehrig. And, it's tough catching the ball with a cast on your hand, but, credit to him for making the play. And it, like I mentioned, they tried to double Keenan Allen on that third down play. So that's something we haven't seen a lot of on film from Patrick Graham.
One more positive here. Nestor Jade Silvera. The Raiders fans have been calling for him to play a little bit. Can you talk about his hustle play?
He had a couple actually where that play was interesting. It was he didn't get a great rush off the line. Kind of gets stood up. The ball goes into the flat, and he beelines it to the flat. Like he didn't give up on the play, expecting Divine Diablo to make the play. Diablo kind of spins off the tackle. The running back gets up the field, and here comes Silvera working inside out and makes the tackle 3 or 4 yards short of the first down to give his team a chance to get off the field on third down. Like he didn't have to do that. You see him running by smaller, faster players who seemed to just assume that Diablo was making the play.
Yep.
And to his credit, he did that on several plays. So like there was one play where he kind of went Max Crosby and kind of flew across the screen and jumped on a pile. And you like to see that kind of activity out of a defensive lineman. Now he didn't play a ton of snaps, and then he got hurt. He hurt his elbow during the game. I don't know if he can play with that kind of effort for 40, 45 snaps, but he should continue getting snaps inside. Him and John Jenkins, I think, are going to be kind of the combo as we get to the middle of this season. Bilal Nichols is losing some favor. He's not getting as many snaps. Jerry Tillery, what he's been doing. Adam Butler's been okay, but at least you're getting some hustle out of Silvera. Now he needs to get some pass rush, but he's very active in the run game. And then to see him chasing down plays in the flats is a bonus.
Can I just say one thing about the Raiders defense real quick? So like, you remember how the Carolina game ended a couple years ago, where the fourth down play. They gave the ball to the fullback and they stopped them on fourth down.
Was it Abram that stopped them?
Yeah, I think Abram stopped them. Like, can we like make sure the whistle is blown before we start celebrating? They did the same thing with Justin Herbert. Like, I see all these Raiders running off the field. I'm like, dude, like they're letting that play go, and it's like if Herbert sticks out the ball one more time, it's gonna be a first down. Can we just get the first down?
Crosby went airborne on that one though.
Yeah,
inside guys went down. Crosby jumped over the top. Not quite Troy Polamalu, but if you meet Max Crosby one-on-one in the air, Max Crosby's probably winning that most of the time.
Yes, he definitely will, 100%. So as I look back, some positive stuff there for the Raiders here, and they're wanting to restart. Green Bay comes to town. The Packers are pretty much ready to go. They are, a young quarterback who's been up and down as far as that. And in the press conference today, Josh McDaniels talked about him. Praise the offense, praise. We don't see him very often. We don't know him very much. All those things like that. What are your thoughts about first thing that comes to you with Green Bay and LaFleur and company?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the first thing I think of when I think of the Green Bay offense is Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. You have to stop them in the running game. You also have to stop them in the passing game because the Raiders have been taking away kind of the deep ball and allowing quarterbacks to dump the ball underneath. They're going to have to tackle those two guys, and they're completely different types of players. And that's going to be a challenge for the Raiders linebacking core. So they have to figure out how to take that away. But at the same time, the Packers are going to throw the ball down the field. Jordan Love's going to take chances deep. So they're going to have to be able to keep the safeties back and kind of take away those shots. If they bring an extra guy down in the box to help stop the run, Packers are going to throw the ball deep, make sure there's no defensive pass interference penalties, and just cover those guys. And the Raiders have had a hard time. Bennett's kind of struggled down the field vertically with passes, and then Marcus Peters doesn't run. He likes to pull out of off coverage.
Yeah.
So those are going to be tough. I think those are the two things that I would look for: stop the run and make sure you don't get beat over the top.
Yeah. So I mean, that's Dillon scares me the most because the way the Raiders tackle, that's going to be an issue. No question about it. So, and they kind of do the things. This is the reason why this is a tough game for the Raiders, because they kind of do two things that give the Raiders issue. Like you would think that, I mean, even Kenny Pickett threw a bomb for a touchdown, right? And you have the ability to run the football, and and both of those guys can catch. You saw what the Raiders linebackers core did in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, in LA last week, where they forced a check down, but then it's a 7-yard gain where it should be just like a 1-yard loss or just a no gain play. So that's going to be difficult for them to handle on Monday Night Football as the Raiders get ready for the Packers.
Yeah, I think this Packers defense actually could be troublesome for this Raiders offense as well, because they have Kenny Clark inside. You have Rashawn Gary's having a good year on the outside. You have Quay Walker, who can give up some plays, but he's a dynamic athlete. He can also make plays against you. They have Jair Alexander outside, who seems to be healthy. I think he missed last week or the week before, but I think he's practicing this week. So you have him to match up with Devontae. The Packers have been beat up the first couple of weeks, and it sounds like, at least the initial reports are today, that they're getting a lot of those bodies back, other than David Bakhtiari. So the Raiders are going to have to attack whoever the left tackle is in this game. I think Jenkins is the offensive lineman, has missed time. He should be practicing this week as well. So the Packers are getting healthy, but the Raiders, there is an opportunity. They have to attack that left tackle position, and then they have to tackle in space.
And it seems like this is another game where, like, I mean, we talked to Matt Holder out, and I just hear you talk about the defense, and it's just like, it's weird that we're having this conversation, but like, it's more like Patrick Graham saying, "Can I get a little help offensively? Like, do I have to be, I can't be perfect, especially with the people you've given me. So like, just give me like 24 points in the game. Give me something. Give me a sustained drive. Give me, how about this? Give me points in the second and third quarter, which the Raiders have had 0 all year. Like that's really, I mean, you can't just say, hey, you know what? We're gonna script those plays. We're good to go. And then after we script those plays, guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna go and do this thing over here with score in the fourth quarter when they're going down by 2 scores, make it look good. No, they got to score throughout the game.
I do think it was interesting listening to Josh McDaniels' press conference today. If you were watching the game last week, Hunter Renfrow didn't play on the first 2 series, and that's typically the first 15 scripted plays. He had Tucker and Carter out there, and then Renfrow kind of went in second, third quarter, fourth quarter. So they clearly wanted to devise packages with a little bit more speed on the field and get Renfrow off the field. He was asked specifically, Michael Mayer, why he's not getting targets. And I thought it was disingenuous by Josh McDaniels to blame turnovers as the reason why.
Oh, he did go turnovers. He did.
Why they're not getting Michael Mayer. No, dude, look in the mirror. You're the head coach. You're calling the plays. Say, I need to do a better job. I need to put him in a position to make plays. He's blaming the turnovers, saying, hey, if we turn the ball over on the second play of what could be an 8 to 10 play drive, Josh, how many 8 to 10 play drives have you called this year outside of the opening script? Like, yeah. I just thought, like, if I'm in the locker room and I hear that, and he's not taking accountability or responsibility for why this offense, this is a veteran offense. I was driving down the street today going, who are the young players? Because Josh McDaniels keeps talking about watching the tape and learning. The only guy on this offense that hasn't been in the league 4, 5, 6, 7 years is Dylan Parham. Everyone else on that offense is a veteran in the National Football League. And the fact that he's not owning up to why the offense isn't playing well doesn't sit well with me as a fan, or it wouldn't sit well with me if I was in the locker room. He needs to say, I have to do a better job of getting Michael Mayer involved and stop blaming other reasons.
Yeah, it's really not good. It's really not a good look. He's been doing that for a minute now, and it's never just like you don't want to have the boring it's on me, but you at least want to have some accountability for it. I mean, these are your turnovers. Like these are not they're just as much your turnovers as they are Jimmy G's and everybody else's. You're a part of this offense. I did think it was interesting. I wish I was in that room that day because I probably would have pissed him off. Because like when he says the easiest way in the red zone to score is to hand the ball off, I would have immediately said, which I tweeted, then when you had the ball at the 3-yard line with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, why did you just give the ball to Josh Jacobs instead of running a sprint right, a pass play? Like, I mean, if it's the easiest way to score, like, you know, I mean, that doesn't sound like an efficient way to get things done, but neither here nor there.
He also said he threw the whole kitchen sink at Khalil Mack, and
including his ribs.
The ribs. Josh McDaniels just has to say he needs to do a better job.
Yes, that's it. That's all you have to say. All you have to say. What else do you have on this game coming up here on Monday night? I just don't. It's hard for me to feel comfortable picking the Raiders to do anything against any of these teams. Like, you know what I mean? They really just don't play. They haven't put together a full game or even 3 quarters of a game. So like, it's hard for me to say that. And this team has some interesting pieces that definitely can give the Raiders trouble on both sides of the ball. What's the pathway to victory, if you will, for the Raiders?
The pathway for victory for the Raiders is to get the Packers in 3rd and long and get off the field. They have to get Jordan Love in situations where it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. But to do that, they have to win on 1st and 2nd down, which means they have to stop the run. And they have to get him in a position where he's going to force the balls, maybe to give time for the pass rush to get there. If they're not winning on 1st and 2nd down, and it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, it's going to be tough for the defense to get off the field. They need to create turnovers, which is what we say every week. They need to be able to get, 2 turnovers in this game. And then they have to figure out how to block Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark. If they can handle that, they can win this game. And obviously the offense can't turn the ball over 3 times as well. But as bad as the Packers have been this year, it's kind of a tough matchup when you look at who are the better players on the Packers and what do? Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Jair Alexander, Quay Walker, and then versus the Raiders. Like, it's a pretty tough matchup because it's going to be, for what the Raiders have been struggling at, they have the pieces that can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's not going to be forced to throw the ball down the field over and over and over again if the Raiders can't stop those two running backs. So, and I would expect at this point for that crowd to be somewhere 50-50, maybe 60-40 Packers fans. Because if the Raiders keep trotting out a bad product, if the PSL holders and the season ticket holders can sell those and make money, they're not going to, like, if you can make $1,000 for your seat or two seats, why would you go to the game based on what you paid? Because a lot of the Raider fans live in California, myself included. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do. I still have tickets for the game, but it's a tough decision to go to Vegas and spend that kind of money with the product that Mark Davis and Josh McDaniels are rolling out there. And Packers fans
have that money. I mean, they have that opportunity to come to Vegas and enjoy and enjoy the fruits of Vegas and maybe even enjoy a victory for the Raiders as well too. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Especially, I mean, did we even mention that Versace is coming, and also, one of the best special teams players in the league is coming too. So they might have something cooked up there as well.
Yeah, this is definitely a revenge game for Rich Bisaccia for the way he was kind of let go at the end of that interim run where he took the Raiders to the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see if they may pull some special teams tricks here. I don't know if they need to do that. I think they can just line up and they're in the similar boat as the Raiders. Don't turn the ball over, run the football, get the Raiders into 3rd and long, and unleash the pass rushers. I think both teams have the same game plan going into this week. It's just who's going to execute it better.
No question. Prediction?
It pains for me to say this, but until the Raiders prove it and they go out and play a good football game, it's tough to say.
Yeah.
I just think at the end, I kind of trust the playmakers a little bit more on Green Bay right now. And I'm going to take the Packers in this game 27-24. Like, I think the Raiders can score some points. It's going to come down to who executes in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go 27-17 Packers. I just until they actually score over 20. There's 3 teams who haven't done it yet. It's the Saints, the Patriots, and the Raiders. They all have something in common, which is kind of funny for those 3 teams. But yeah, they have not scored as well. So